On a bright morning, a woman named Johanna steps outside, carrying an object wrapped in a sheet, ready to dispose of it. Her daughter Claire heads off on her bicycle, accompanied by her dog, Max. Meanwhile, Johanna returns indoors, appearing distant and lost in thought.
Mrs. Luca, they hatched!
That is so great, sweetie.
Later, when Claire comes back home, she ventures into the attic, only to discover her mother hanging. Claire jolts awake from the terrifying nightmare. Now grown up, she finds comfort in the presence of her loyal dog, Max. That morning, her father, Jonathan, and his friend Carl set out for a round of dumpster diving, searching for discarded treasures. Meanwhile, Claire prepares for school. As she heads out, she waves goodbye to her neighbor, Mrs. DeLuca, before riding off on her bike. As Claire rides along, she spots her Uncle August and starts to turn toward the old man to speak with him.
Get off the road, winner!
However, she's momentarily distracted and nearly collides with Darcy Chapman, the school's popular girl. She manages to avoid the crash, but ends up scraping her knee and tearing her leggings.
See you around.
Upon arriving at school, Claire is mortified to see her father, Jonathan, rummaging through a dumpster with Carl. Embarrassed, she rushes over to tell him to leave before anyone notices.
What'd I do now?
You promised that you wouldn't do this at my school.
Claire meets up with her friends, June and Meredith. Meredith, as usual, is engrossed in her favorite mobile game, Monster Mutant Slayer.
Monster Mutant Slayer? Dumbest game ever.
Hey, don't mock what you don't understand, dude. Oh,
As they chat, Darcy struts past and deliberately throws her drink at Claire, smirking as she claims she's just recycling first.
Recycle first?
Later, in her Chinese class, Claire finds herself sneaking glances at Paul, the popular guy she secretly has a crush on. While Claire's father and his friend Carl were dumpster diving in front of an eerie, rundown house, they stumbled upon something unusual wrapped in the trash, something that immediately caught their attention.
Hey, Carl, look at this. I fetch a ton at the swap.
Later at school, Darcy wasn't done stirring up trouble. This time, her taunts pushed Claire over the edge, leading her to snap back with some choice words. In the heat of the moment, Claire called Darcy the ultimate smegma, a crude insult referring to an unpleasant genital secretion.
Surrounding the clitoris in females.
The exchange quickly escalated into a full-blown fight between the two girls. Claire stops by her neighbor Mrs. DeLuca's house, where she chats about her day and confesses her crush on Paul. Back home, she discovers that her dad has brought back a large, ornate box. Intrigued, Claire carefully unwraps it and reads the inscription, revealing that the mysterious box has the power to grant 7 wishes. Later, videos of Claire's fight with Darcy spread across the internet, drawing even more attention to her. On top of that, people begin mocking her father for being a freegan, making Claire feel even more humiliated. Frustrated and overwhelmed, she remembers the mysterious box and almost without thinking, mutters a hypothetical wish for Darcy to go rot.
I wish that Darcy Chapman just, I don't know, but just like go rot.
That night, as Claire sleeps soundly, the box suddenly opens on its own, emitting an eerie melody. Unaware of the strange occurrence, she remains lost in her dreams. The next morning, after a wild party at her house, Darcy wakes up to a horrifying sight. Parts of her hands, feet, and face have grotesquely rotted away. Panic spreads as rumors circulate at school, with people claiming that Darcy contracted necrosis from a spa treatment. Claire quickly realizes that her wish has somehow come true. Later, Darcy's friends approach Claire and her group, asking for donations to help with Darcy's medical bills, but they are quickly dismissed.
Go fund this. Yeah. Go on, Scooch. Bye.
The following morning, as Claire takes photos of the mysterious box, she notices that Max is nowhere to be found. Worried, she searches the house and eventually discovers his lifeless body beneath the deck. Heartbroken, she and Jonathan hold a small funeral, burying their beloved dog together. Claire showed her Chinese teacher the writings on the box, but he insists that she'll have to talk to a scholar for accurate translation.
If you want an accurate translation, you'll probably have to talk to a scholar.
Got it, thank you.
A classmate, Ryan, walks by, proposing an offer to Claire that her cousin could look it up since ancient Chinese is her thing. It's clear that Ryan has a bit of a crush on Claire. After spending most of her day daydreaming about Paul, Claire finally gives in to temptation. Holding the mysterious box, she makes her second wish, that Paul should fall madly in love with her.
I wish that Paul Middlebrook would fall madly in love with me.
When she returns to school, Paul approaches her, showing obvious interest, even with his girlfriend Lola right there. Once again, the box opened and began playing the sound. Meanwhile, at Uncle August's home, the old man prepares for a bath. He fills the tub, steps in, but slips clumsily, hitting his head on the side. Regaining consciousness, he accidentally bangs his head on the nozzle, this time fatally. When Claire hears of August's death, she asks her father if he left an inheritance. Jonathan doubts either of them was included.
If there's a will, trust me, we ain't in it.
Yeah, of course not.
With their financial struggles in mind, Claire retreats to her room and whispers her third wish to the music box, that August had left her everything.
I wish that Uncle August would leave me everything.
The next morning, Claire wakes to Jonathan telling her that August had apparently left her his entire inheritance.
You're never gonna believe this. Apparently, you weren't cut out of his will.
How much do we get?
All of it, buddy.
No way.
Yes. Way.
Before long, they move into a mansion and start driving flashy cars. Wanting to celebrate, Jonathan hands Claire his credit card, encouraging her to treat June and Meredith to a shopping spree. Meanwhile, Claire's former neighbor, Mrs. DeLuca, is cooking dinner when she drops something down the garbage disposal. She reaches in to retrieve it, leaning dangerously close to the switch. At the same time, her pots on the stove begin to burn. Elsewhere, Claire is painting in her room when the box opens once more, unaware of the harm it is about to unleash. Mrs. DeLuca pulls her hand out just in time and quickly turns off the stove, avoiding disaster. Meanwhile, Claire sits in her room staring cluelessly at the open box. Just as Mrs. DeLuca steps back toward the sink, her ponytail slips into the disposal. In a tragic misstep, she accidentally flips the switch, and the machine yanks her hair, snapping her neck instantly. As her lifeless body collapses, the box silently closes once more. After a disturbing dream, Claire notices a shadowy figure nearby, but when she checks, there's no one there, leaving her puzzled. The next day at school, Paul officially breaks up with his girlfriend.
I'm just not into it anymore. I can't date someone I don't have feelings for.
Wasting no time, he immediately asks Claire out. She hesitates, needing some time to think it over. In class, Claire searches online for images and Chinese writings similar to those on the music box, but finds nothing useful. Determined for answers, she seeks out Ryan, who agrees to have his cousin Gina translate the ancient text.
Ryan, what's the price?
Of?
Your cousin helping me translate something?
On the ride over, Ryan suddenly brings up an old grudge, demanding that Claire finally apologize for farting in first grade and blaming him.
First grade sharing circle. You farted.
I did not fart.
You farted and you blamed it on me and everyone...
Amused, she eventually gives in, and they both laugh it off. When they arrive at Gina's place, she examines the music box and deciphers some of the Chinese characters, revealing that they say 7 wishes. She explains that to activate the wishes, the owner must touch the box while making one. As she continues translating, Gina uncovers a crucial detail. All wishes will be undone if the owner ever loses, sells, or gives away the box.
Abandon, lose, or sell me, and all your wishes will be undone.
They also discover the name Lu Mei inscribed beneath the box. Intrigued, Claire, Ryan, and Gina dig deeper, uncovering the legend of Lu Mei. Lu Mei was the sole survivor when her family perished under quarantine during the 1910 bubonic plague outbreak. Grief-stricken and seeking vengeance, she took her family's only valuable possession, a mysterious music box, to a temple, where she prayed relentlessly for 7 days and 7 nights. Finally, a demon answered her call. Soon after, Lu Mei became wealthy, and those who wronged her met gruesome fates. However, her story ended in tragedy. She died by suicide in 1922. Gina further explains that when the music stops, something happens.
It also says when the music ends, something happens.
Like...
I don't know, it could be a few different things.
But they can't determine exactly what. Frustrated by the incomplete translation, Gina offers to email a friend who might be able to decipher the remaining characters on the box. As Claire and Ryan head out, Gina takes a moment to nudge Ryan, urging him to ask Claire out.
She's cute. Ask her out.
I'm trying.
Good luck.
On the way back, Claire spots her dad rummaging through a dumpster for knickknacks, just as he used to before they became wealthy. Embarrassed and frustrated, she grows angry that he still does this despite their new life in a mansion.
Dad, we live in a freaking mansion. What else do you need?
Claire.
No, forget about it.
That night, unable to shake her frustration, Claire makes her fourth wish, for her dad to be less embarrassing.
I wish that my dad would just stop being so embarrassing.
That night, Gina is alone in her loft when she finally receives an email with the full translation. As she reads it, a chill runs down her spine. "This is messed up," she mutters, fear creeping in. Meanwhile, the music box opens again, preparing to claim its next victim. Panicked, Gina tries calling Ryan, but he doesn't answer. Suddenly, the door behind her slams shut, startling her and making her drop her phone. As she cautiously steps back inside, the power goes out, plunging the loft into darkness. Disoriented, she stumbles, and in a horrifying instant, falls face first onto the horn of a bull statue, sealing her fate. Meanwhile, Claire's dad becomes less embarrassing to her, now a smooth saxophone player that even her friends find hot.
Your dad is like serious hot sauce. Like sriracha hot.
Hello? Hey, Gina, it's me. Let me up.
The next day, Ryan discovers Gina's phone on the ground and rushes up to her loft, only to find her dead.
Oh, no!
Shaken, he tracks down Claire at school and urgently shares what he's learned. The phrase on the box translates to, "When the music ends, the blood price is paid." Realizing the horrifying pattern, he demands to know if all the good things happening to Claire are because of her wishes. Claire quickly denies it, but Ryan sees through her lie. Furious, he scorns her for being selfish.
How'd you get to live in that mansion again?
We're gonna be late for class, Ryan. Are you coming?
Have you? Claire!
Later at school, Claire is now officially Paul's girlfriend and joins him for lunch instead of sitting with her usual friends.
Did that just happen?
I think so.
However, his friends are still bitter that Paul dumped Lola for her. Claire then wishes to become the most popular girl in school, unaware of the harm her wishes are causing.
I wish that I was the most popular girl in school.
Soon, she gets invited to a party with Paul, where she is now admired by everyone, and they have a great time together. At night, after another bad dream about her mom's death, she saw someone lurking again. Panicked, she grabbed a rake and approached, but found no one there, prompting Claire to change the box's location. The next day, Claire goes to Mrs. DeLuca's home and is met with a horrible smell. To her shock and horror, she finds Mrs. DeLuca's lifeless body still by the sink. Claire confesses to June and Meredith about the box and how she's been making wishes. Meredith scolds her for being selfish instead of wishing for good things.
You're a selfish bowl of bitch sauce. You know, if I had 7 wishes, you know what I would have done? I would have wished for world peace, and I would cure cancer. Nothing.
June, however, urges her to get rid of it. That evening, Claire sets out to do so, but hesitates, ultimately deciding to keep the box just in case. At a party later, Claire lies to her friends, claiming she got rid of the box.
Did you throw it away?
Yeah, right after you guys left.
Cool.
Come on.
Hey, where are you guys going?
Meanwhile, she and Paul head to his car to hook up, but Claire discovers he's been talking to other girls behind her back, spying on her and even taking pictures. Furious, she decides to leave him.
You've been spying on me.
Yeah?
What is wrong with you?
Are you mad? You're smoking when you're mad.
I think maybe that we need a break.
I don't.
I was just trying to be nice. I'm breaking up with you.
The box opens again, ready to eliminate. Moments later, a flaming piece of wood falls, nearly hitting June, but Meredith pulls her to safety just in time. Soon after, Claire's dad sends her a voice message saying he's heading to a gig.
I got a gig outside town, so I'm gonna be home around midnight, okay? I love you.
On the way, he gets a flat tire. Meanwhile, the girls hang out at a hotel, where Meredith heads to the 26th floor after hearing a celebrity is staying there. Later, Claire confesses to June that she never got rid of the box.
I didn't do it.
Do what?
Couldn't throw it away.
That's messed up, Claire.
At the same time, Claire's dad is changing his tire when two drag racers nearly hit him. As he reaches under the car for a missing piece, the jack begins to loosen. Finally, he knocks the spare tire loose, just as an oncoming car strikes it, nearly taking Jonathan's head off. Meanwhile, Meredith went off alone to play her Mutant Slayer game. After finishing, she got into an elevator to meet her friends, but it broke down. Scared, she called Claire for help.
Claire, I'm stuck, okay? Please get someone to help me. I'm stuck in this stupid elevator.
Yeah, sure.
Soon, the elevator doors opened, and Meredith tried to step out. But before she could, the elevator suddenly dropped and crashed to the bottom, killing her. The box then closed itself again. While mourning, June blamed Claire for Meredith's death. Ryan, who heard about the accident, arrives to comfort Claire. He takes her to his house to show her his research. Ryan explains that he discovered the meaning of the numbers on the bottom of the box. They are a military identification number belonging to Arthur Sands, a retired soldier. Sands lived a successful life, but eventually took his own life. His wife blamed the cursed music box and was later institutionalized. Ryan reveals that as the box passed from one person to another, everyone who used it eventually died. He also found that the box later resurfaced in Cleveland with Lawrence Hart. Hart lived a perfect life at first, but then his family started dying tragically. He lost his mind before dying in a fire that destroyed his mansion, the same place where Jonathan found the box. Ryan adds that the box has an inscription stating that after 7 wishes, the Yao Guai claims the soul of the user. Heartbroken, Claire admits that she has already made 5 wishes.
I made 5 wishes.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm sorry, but...
What? How is there a but? People are dead. What'd you wish for anyway? That nice house?
No.
Oh, no, bullshit. People are dead, Claire. You can't just wish that
Desperate,
away.
Claire and Ryan try everything to destroy the box. They attempt to burn it and smash it with sledgehammers, but nothing works. While Claire is sleeping that night, Paul, now obsessed with her, breaks into her room. He demands to know if their relationship is truly over. When Claire makes it clear that it is, he becomes furious and, in a fit of despair, slits his wrist. An ambulance soon arrives to treat him. The next morning, Claire discovers that the music box is missing from where she had hidden it. Ryan urges her to move on and let all the wishes be undone. Eventually, Claire's wishes are undone. She and Jonathan lose their mansion after the sheriff reveals that Uncle August never paid his taxes, forcing them to move back into their old home. On her birthday, Claire now rides her bike to school and sees her father dumpster diving as usual. Darcy returns to school with her skin healing and resumes bullying Claire. Meanwhile, Paul is back with his girlfriend. Heartbroken, Claire struggles with the loss of her dear friend, Meredith. Claire discovers that June took the box from her room, intending to get rid of it. Desperate, Claire takes it back, but in the struggle, she accidentally pushes June down the stairs at school.
June, is she gonna be okay?
What is wrong with you?
Go away!
I thought we were done with this.
Ryan tries to stop Claire from making any more wishes, urging her to let it go. But Claire refuses, insisting she needs to make one final wish. When Ryan persists, she threatens to use a wish against him if he doesn't back off.
You do not go away. I will use one on you, and I swear I'll use it on you.
Utterly frustrated and losing her grip on reality, Claire wishes that her mother never committed suicide.
I wish my mother never committed suicide.
Claire?
Mom? I missed you so much.
You missed me so much?
Suddenly, she finds herself living an ideal life with her mother, father, and even 2 younger siblings. However, when she goes up to the attic, she discovers a painting her mother made of the music box. Horrified, Claire realizes that her mother's suicide was caused by the box, meaning the curse started with her.
This is your fault. This is your fault. Everything is your fault.
Panicked, she rushes to her room and finds the box open, playing its eerie tune. A terrible realization hits her. Her father is about to die because of her wish. She races to warn him, but it's too late. While cutting a branch with his friend Carl, an accident occurs. Carl loses control of his chainsaw, and Jonathan is gruesomely decapitated. Devastated and desperate, Claire makes one final wish: to return to the morning before her father finds the music box.
I want to go back before I got you. My final wish is I want to go back to the morning my dad found you.
Claire wakes up on that fateful day, finding her dog Max on her bed. Wanting reassurance, she calls Meredith just to hear her voice. Though Meredith is annoyed at being woken up, Claire then asks Jonathan if she can join him and Carl on their usual search for discarded items. When they arrive at the house, she quickly spots the box in a bin, takes it, and hides it in her bag. Before heading to school, she makes sure to tell her dad that she loves him. At school, Claire finds Ryan and hands him the box, warning him not to open the bag and to bury it immediately.
This is gonna sound crazy, but please don't open this. Just bury it, no shortcuts.
What's in it for me?
Dinner, if you want.
She then makes dinner plans with him,
tell me how
and
you
in
know.
front of June and Meredith, kisses him before walking off happily. Just then, Darcy accidentally hits Claire with her car, crashing onto a windshield.
I didn't see her. I just didn't see her.
The students look on in shock and horror as Claire lies lifeless on the shattered glass. Later, Ryan finishes digging a hole to bury the box, but before he does, curiosity takes over. Even though Claire told him not to open the bag, he takes out the box and wipes off the dirt. He sees the Chinese writing on it and reads the words, 7 wishes.
7 wishes?
A sly smile crosses his face as he looks around, thinking about what he could do with it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.